Alright guys, I'm sure you're expecting some big rage rant video from me after that absolutely disgusting performance by England. We lost 3-1 at home against Senegal. I know it's a friendly, but I still care. There still has to be a certain level of effort, particularly after how lackluster we were when we played against Andorra the other day. There was no excuse for this. This was a perfect opportunity for a lot of players who don't normally play. Of course, Thomas Tuchel made 10 changes to the starting lineup in this one. Harry Kane was the only guy who started both games. And yeah, 3-1 loss. A game that we actually led. Now, normally, of course, I do like a 5 things review for you guys here on the channel. I go over the 5 things that we learned. In truth, again, just like against Andorra, I just want to talk about the game for a few minutes and get my thoughts across because, you know, I'm not going to lay into him too much. I'm not. That was a truly unacceptable performance. Let there be no question about that. For the avoidance of doubt, put it on the record. That's what I said, and I do mean that. But I'm not going to lay into the players. I'm not going to rage at them. I'm not going to rant at them. Now, you might be wondering, well, why is that? Well, I just don't think it's really going to help. Because I am sure there's going to be some people, and I've already seen it. I know there's some people who are already calling for Thomas Tuchel's head. They want him to be sacked. They think he's not good enough. He's not right for the England national team. I think it's far too early to say something like that. And I don't think sacking him is going to help. It's not going to happen. Simple as that. This is a friendly. Has anybody ever been sacked over a friendly result in football? Answer on a postcard on that one. But that shouldn't start right now if that's the case, and if it has happened before, that should not be repeated. We hadn't conceded a single goal before this in Tuchel's reign, obviously only 3 games before this one against not the best opposition, to put it very bluntly, particularly Andorra, but also, of course, Latvia and Albania. Not exactly footballing powerhouses there, are they? But in all of those games, there's been holes to pick. There's been disappointing things in them. These two obviously being the worst, the one against Andorra and now this as well. But you know, let me just give credit where credit is due. Senegal deserved this win. They were really good. They're a good team. I knew they were a good team coming into this. You know, they won the AFCON not long ago. They're ranked like 19th in the world. They're one of the best teams in the world. They are the first African side to ever beat England. And when I say they are one of the best sides in the world, I mean relatively. They're not like on the level of where England are, or they shouldn't be anyway normally, but they obviously performed better than us tonight. They deserved their victory. They pressed us really high. They had a lot of energy, a lot of tempo. They put some nice moves together. That move to win the game for them in the last few minutes is so very nice, very well worked. And it started out quite positive for England. We were ahead after 6 minutes. Harry Kane scoring a goal like he always does. Sloppy from Edouard Mendy. There's a reason why he's not playing for Chelsea anymore and he's playing in Saudi Arabia. But yeah, Senegal, they went in 1-1 at that half-time and they deserved it, honestly. They were the better team. They absolutely deserved their win in this one. But I tell you what, we got to talk about VAR. Just quickly, we got to talk about the VAR in this. Why is VAR involved in a friendly, for goodness sake, for one? I didn't know that was the thing. I didn't know we had VAR in friendlies, but apparently we do. And how on earth did that goal get chalked off for England? And by the way, before anybody says it, I'm not complaining at this and saying that, oh, we would have won the game if it wasn't for that. We might have drawn. We probably still would have lost with how we were playing. But absolutely no chance that goal should have been disallowed. Was it Levi Colwill who, technically, yes, there was a bit of a hand to the ball kind of action going on there, but the rules state that it has to be a deliberate handball. That was not deliberate. He knew nothing about that. It just hit his arm. Simple as that. And it's not like it hit his arm, it flew in the net. It still required another touch from, I think it was Bellingham, wasn't it, who put the ball in the net, who came off the bench and did make a difference. But you know, a lot of the players that started today were not great. Kyle Walker for Senegal's equaliser. I know he's on like nearly 100 caps now, but that was not a good look from him, unfortunately. I know his team, AC Milan, they've had a poor season, and I hesitate to say that Walker, if he's been playing like that, has probably not helped matters. But I haven't watched Milan that much outside of the Champions League this season, so I can't really comment on that too much. Chalobah at the back, even though I think this was his England debut or one of his first caps for England anyway, he looked pretty solid. Henderson did some good saves. I know he conceded 3 goals, but it easily could have been more. Senegal easily could have won this with 4 or 5 goals in the back of the net. Henderson pulling off some really solid saves, so I think he's done a good job tonight. He's not done enough to displace Jordan Pickford, but he's definitely, kind of cemented his number 2 status really there in goal. Lewis Skelly, I mean, he didn't help matters really. I think it was Senegal's second goal, I want to say, and that was not particularly great. But yeah, there was just like a lack of energy. The 4-4-2 formation as well. Harry Kane up front with Eze. I love Eze. I think he's a superbly talented player, but yeah, again, a bit like Andorra, the experiment, if this was an experiment, failed. We should not play 4-4-2 again. We need more control in the midfield. There has to be 5 players in midfield. You have to have a 4-2-3-1 or a 3-5-2 or something like that. There has to be 5 players in midfield. There's got to be 3 players in the centre of midfield as well. Otherwise, we do really struggle. And yeah, I have to chalk this up to an experiment that didn't work, unfortunately. And that's the kindest way that I can possibly put it. And again, Tuchel will be hurting after this. I know there's going to be people coming for him. I know there will be. But I listened to him on the radio and I heard his interview on the telly as well. And he was shattered. He was absolutely gobsmacked. He was nervous. He was not in a good way. He really felt that tonight. And I'm hoping that is going to be something that we use as fuel to really, kind of just get back to where we should be in terms of our performances and stuff. I really do think there is something in there. I feel like this is a great team. It really can be a great team, but this international break, and again, probably tired. There's probably a lot of tiredness in there, but Senegal are going to be tired too. There's no excuse for that. I mean, they played against Ireland the other day, so there's no real comparison there. You can't go saying that, England have had it hard, that, the players are too tired. Senegal are going to be the same. There's no excuse for that. But yeah, a lot needs to be looked at. A lot needs to improve. We've got 4 more competitive games, I think, before the World Cup or something like that. So yeah, got to be stepped up. I know it's a friendly, but there's a certain level that you expect with England, and unfortunately we fell far short of that. But yeah, all the people who were commenting on my previous post, my preview, saying that England were going to get battered by Senegal, turns out you guys were right. I hope you're proud of yourselves. I have to presume that you weren't English. Probably a bunch of Scots and Welsh and Irish in the comments there as usual, because nothing to shout about with your teams, is there? Let's be real here, guys. But anyway, in all seriousness, let's stop this UK rivalry going on. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you want to see more of this, guys, and have a fantastic day over in the world. And yeah, if you're an England fan like me, bad luck. It's, not a good result at all.